decides where the fight will be. Half the time we see twice intensity. It's chaos. Krieg. It's chaos. Krieg.
Hello there and welcome to two of the best games of the first weekend of Master League Tournament 3 Chaos Krieg. You're looking at Elpern's United States Forces. He's locked in Recon Support Company. He's versus a relatively new player to the tournament scene, Sormaple from China, locking in Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine. These two games that I'm going to bring to you from this best of 5 series are fantastic non-meta contests, sorely lacking from the mainstream of the first weekend, and that was not the fault of the tournament. We were just a little bit unlucky. If you managed to catch some of the other casters from that first weekend, featuring Siberian, Greyshot, Imperial Dane, etc., you would have seen a little bit more non-meta than we saw with the likes of Isildur and Devon. That's why we're retracing our steps, trying to get you all hyped up for the Grand Finals weekend. Starting this Saturday, Ed 80Hz and I will be bringing you, firstly, Nagano. I don't want to spoil it too much because these guys here, they could be in, you could be watching this on YouTube late on a Friday night. Let's not bring you who's going to be in the semi-finals. You know Nagano's going to be there now. But yes, indeed, we are watching Elpern versus Sormaple. Score marks are but question marks for now. And let's keep an eye on the battles as they unfold. Pathfinder's coming out for Elpern. Give him a little bit of glass cannon action. High DPS, but a 4-man squad, of course. Stern Pioneers close the distance, get within light cover. Riflemen have dropped 3 models early on. That's not good. Kubelwagen is out, just capping up north at the moment, where rear echelons do the same. Stern Pioneers continue their assault and backpedal a little bit, actually. They get stuck between a cow and a fence and temporarily become a 3-headed Cerberus, well 2 now. And they're just playing for time here. Let's enable Fog of War and show you why they do this. He's focusing on those victory points. Don't forget, 250 only, of which every single one will bleed oh so much more quickly. Especially when the players prioritise them as well. I mean, that's the double effect of Chaos Krieg. Not only do they have half the amounts, but they prioritise them. Stern Pioneers very low on health there. Backpedaling. We've got INR Pathfinders going for the cut-off. No, they're not. They're going for an incisive killing action on the Stern Pioneers. That's a bad loss for Sormaple early on. If, indeed, they don't survive. Oh, and there you go. Shot in the back of the head with a certain amount of brutality by Elpern. Great start for the Swedish Master, the destroyer of Love Nest from Master League Tournament 2, don't forget. And I think Love Nest is going to suffer a little bit. I think I might have mentioned it on the first weekend, but he may lose his Master League seed numero uno standing because he didn't do very well in Master League Tournament 2, Commander Terminator. He got taken out by Elpern, and due to IRL, he couldn't play in Master League Tournament 3. So yeah, there's players that are nipping at his heels that are ready to take his spot in the big lead-up to the World Championship 2020 in November. But Rifleman with one toe in the line taking the victory point. Stern Pioneers. The new Stern Pioneers. Still that classic old taste, but 20% less sugar, 30% more Sturmgewehr. It is indeed the new Stern Pioneers. Lieutenant is joining the fray from this side. Riflemen, rear echelons, however, were forced away. Sormaple's doing really well considering he lost a very expensive squad. Do not forget that 300 manpower has died in the blink of an eye. Men are ready to launch themselves behind this tank trap and take the northern victory points. Meanwhile, in the mid, we have Sormaple looking for a maneuver. Try and take these riflemen off guard. They take refuge behind the burning husk of a former Sherman with a 50 cal in the build. We've had 4 minutes and 50 seconds of action. Looking good so far. Looking like a good game. Well chosen replay by the man that calls himself Two Vowel Sounds, making it very difficult to refer to him. He just blocked his own Kubelwagen's pathing by building that sandbag. Kubelwagen advances regardless of any blocking of his own pathing. INR Pathfinders await. 50 cal. Positions and sets up. That's going to force that Kubel out of there. Let's very briefly check on the early game stats to see that Sormaple, despite a Stern Pioneer loss, has actually gotten a positive model-for-model KD. I mean, that means they're roughly about equal, to be honest. If there's been a squad, in terms of manpower economies, probably Elpern's still slightly ahead, one would expect. Seeks refuge behind the heavy cover. Well there, and there's that 200 points call out by the announcer. That's gone quickly. 50 victory points disappear because Sormaple was able to stick behind this victory point and this one down here. Sandbags are going to help ever so much there. He's also got reinforced steel barricade behind this heavy cover there. Folks Grenadiers fan out into the west. Rear echelons kind of sense it. They know they're not battle ready. They're going to, in fact, go for some mine sweeping. He must have seen this being planted. It was very aggressive if you think about it. I mean, there's the base exit and there's where the mine was. So Sormaple should have realised that that was spotted and cancelled it. What's Sormaple building here? It's a Goliath. It's a Panzer II Luke's. I only joke because the portrait does look slightly like a Goliath. Now that would be cool, wouldn't it? A Panzer II packed with TNT on a remote control. Relic, if you're listening to me and you're making Company Heroes 3, I want experimental units. Not just Hobart's funnies and Wunderwaffe, I want things that you make up. Panzer II Mega Goliath, make it happen. First Grenadiers, retreat. Panzer II, it's already destroyed this wall with the Kubelwagen, doesn't need to. Poor Rosemary's Garden, seen better days. Luke's capping in the north, 50 cal repositioning down south. Kubelwagen trying to neutralise. Tell you what, he's only got 60% health. And he gets out of there immediately. I'm liking Sormaple's quick thinking, by the way, and fleet-footedness. He's getting out of there, he's taking his shots, and he's skipping away. I am a boxing fan, but it's amazing when you start commentating a competitive 1 versus 1 game, such as Company Heroes 2, just how many boxing analogies that you end up using. Well, not just analogies, but just turns of phrase and kind of cliches, I suppose. Rekattenwerfer now out for Sormaple. He's clearly expecting this Stuart, and he has every right to expect it. And let us just survey the battle. Incendiary grenade goes off as the Panzer II ignites. That's a YouTube. That's the thumbnail. We've got the thumbnail, everybody. What were we missing? Nothing much. No squads wiped. Just denial of cover. Ambulance out now as well. This is the rifleman that was forced away by the incendiary nade, by the way, whilst AE was going into cinematic splooge mode. Big shout out to several people in chat. Skippy FX, one of the best content creators in the community. We've got Elpern himself out there. Pallyman, Orange Pest, Tommy Co. Some great people in this community, as always.
A capture point is being overrun.
Rekattenwerfer branching out with the Panzer II, and that's a good combo, that is. He's got, all he's missing is a Folks Grenadier to complete that mini battle group, and then he'd be invulnerable to anything that Elpern could offer him. Stuart misses its shots. Oh, that 50 cal's getting murdered. There's the Rekattenwerfer synergy. Elpern must be quaking a little bit here, must be ever so slightly shell-shocked by what Sormaple's offering, this relatively unknown quantity. I know he's from China and Quiritz is from Russia, but what you are starting to see with these Master League tournaments, and no, I am not tooting my own horn here, this is everybody that's got a part of it. The players themselves, the patrons, the referees are all part of this. Master League is certainly encouraging people to play at their absolute maximum capacity, to actually train Company of Heroes as though it's a competitive game worth training. And that's why we're seeing the likes of Sormaple and Quiritz all of a sudden become world beaters, or start to show the signs of it at least, mine being planted in the north. We are starting to see that effect. We used to call it the ESL effect when Relic splooged, 30 grand on those tournaments back in 2016. We're now seeing that effect again, and it's wonderful to behold. Kulvorgen capping north. Sormaple continuing to put the pressure on Elpern. He's actually got raid tactics, by the way, which would be interesting, especially if you've got the M8. One way to win a 250 victory point struggle, isn't it? Oh, there's the Puma. It's made its arrival, this futuristic dystopian nightmare. Oh my god, what a beast of an armoured car. Does he get the anti-tank rifle nade off? No. Does he? Oh, he's so close. Oh, that could have been a trap, He was getting really close there. Oh, we've got some action in Elpern's territory. Stern Pioneers versus INR Pathfinders. Does have an artillery barrage ability of 140 munitions, by the way, having gained Veteran C1. Puma's had his engine damaged. Oh, he's trying to finish off the Stuart. I thought he was cooking up for a moment there, but alas not. And this could be a squad wipe. We do have suppression kicking in for the First Grenadiers, though, however, possibly it was just enough to save the lives of those riflemen. Panzer II peeks his nose into the mid. And here it isn't. Sorry, let me get my voice. Here it is indeed, the M8 Greyhound. I might as well just carry on with that accent. And here it is indeed, the M8 Greyhound. What a vehicle. Certainly what my voice crack sounded like. Those canister shots, when USF were, the newfangled army that everybody was going in 2015, the canister round was all the rage. Basically, the M8 now is a glorified Kubelwagen destroyer. But at one point, it was a squad-wiping terror on the battlefield. It's a tricky strat, though, to go that versus a Puma. You have to say that Elpern certainly has large, voluminous balls, doesn't he? 121 victory points remain for the Swede, though. Sormaple looks like he's running away with this, but here comes the march of the Light Brigade. Rakettenwerfer isn't quite set at the moment, and Puma misses its shot. Elpern's forcing him off this central victory point with aplomb. Board rifles force their way past the MG. Lieutenant leads the fray now. He joins it, trying to claim a medal. He's an astute, pencil-pushing bastard, is the lieutenant. Oh yeah, I was there present in the battle all the time. Didn't just show up for the end of it at all. Ground has been repaired. Well, he's capping, actually. What the F am I on about? Doesn't need repairs. He's capping the southern victory point, which will engage a triple cap, which could indeed mean that Elpern takes this game. But he is on 112 victory points, don't forget, and Sormaple has 205, so even with a triple cap, he's got room for error, has the man from China. Oh, he's just taken out this Panzer II, Luke's. Well played by Elpern there, using bazookas and anti-tank grenades there. Just north of our picture, unfortunately. Puma joins the fray. Good shot in on the Stuart. Vision block damaged, however. Nice use of the ability. Riflemen under pressure from the Stern Pioneers. They could indeed be dying. Oh, the Puma's going to finish them off, if not Death to Sturmgewehr. Puma's advancing though, he fancies this. Might as well try and finish the job with the coaxial machine gunner. What was he thinking there, Sormaple? He just lost his Panzer II and then failed to get the squad wipe due to prioritised vehicle. You must admit though that this game has been frenetic and fast paced, so both players are liable to make small mistakes here and there now. They've had 15 minutes, exactly, of high-paced gameplay. I just wish I knew what took out the... what took out the Panzer II there. I am trying to find out. It's possibly the Lutz. Yes, indeed, it was the... sorry, not, what am I not about? It was the lieutenant with the bazooka taking it out, just off picture. 2 Pumas is an interesting build by Sormaple. It would have been much better, of course, if he had Panzer II to go with it. But now he has a triple cap, having forced Elpern off temporarily. 90 victory points remain for the Swede. Pushes in with veterancy 2 infantry and a 50 cal pushing up. Meanwhile, in the south, he's got his riflemen and lieutenants. Capping down there. He's battling back at least. MG34 sets up with Puma backing it up. Folks Grenadiers make their way into the situation. Meanwhile, Veterancy 1 Puma investigating down south. We've had a call for a nade in the north there, giving reason for MG34 to roll. Look at that! These Folks Grenadiers were just lying in wait for whatever reason, but they've certainly made themselves useful in the end. Iron Ore Pathfinders bite the dust.
A resource sector has been isolated.
Fallschirmjägers have landed. Getting some pot shots off with those FG-42s, the finest assault gun of the war. I don't know what to call it. It fires a full Mauser round, but it's fully automatic. A battle rifle, that's it. In modern days, you'd call the FG-42 a battle rifle, I believe. Anyway, anything that's bigger than an intermediate cartridge. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yanks. I say that disparagingly. I'm jealous that you guys get to play with guns and I don't, basically. We've all watched. Surely you've watched an FG-42 being fired on YouTube. If you haven't, go and check it out. It is a thing of beauty. And here's some lethality for you. Sturmgewehr's Puma. Oh, look at that! Faust Puma combination on the ground. It did not stand a chance. MG34 repositions up north. Sormaple's active down south. Fallschirmjägers watch on as the Puma launches itself in against these rear echelons, trying to disguise their double bazooka setup. Puma's backed into a corner, needs to be ever so careful. And we've got a vision block in from the Stuarts in the north. Puma's backing away. However, those bazookas harmlessly career into that garrison. Checking out the south for now. Sormaple's victory point control has been stellar. Really well played by him. Panzer II is building, and interestingly we have a pack howitzer out for Elpern. Already claimed its first kill. It's a shame he doesn't have Veterancy 1 quite yet to get the smoke, because I think smoke could be a lifesaver when you're down on 17-8 victory points and dropping. He's looking for a bit of a flank on the MG34. Fans out and tries to get it. MG34 is going to open up against the rear echelon, allowing the riflemen in. Let's check out the southern engagements where Fallschirmjägers are losing out to Browning automatics, it seems. Low levels of health on that unit, and they're forced away. Pakawi would have certainly finished the job if they'd lingered. Let's check out the mid where we've had a flank on the 50 cal. Elpern reacts in time. Sturmgewehr's set behind the heavy cover as a grenade is launched from the paratroopers. Faust in. No follow-up though. Where's the Pumas when you need them? Meanwhile, Rakettenwerfer and Volksgrenadiers in the mid as the Pumas trying to do damage to the airborne in the south. Rakettenwerfer can't linger for too long looking for a shot. And Elpern, by the way, is about to hit with an M4A3. Which will really help swing things in his favour. Because he has had things in his favour for a little while now. Sormaple's dropped to 111 victory points. Everything's in base for Sormaple right now. It's amazing that he's able to keep the central victory point. Oh, and there's the pack howitzer, a nuclear pack howitzer. Oh dear, oh dear. Just trying to buy time for the rest of his forces to help out and keep things in Chinese hands. Major drops artillery on the MG34. Elpern looks set to make a huge comeback here, and the M4A3 with the Stuart. Operating in tandem, Puma backs away, it pops smoke, but to what end? Stuart penetrates and finishes the job. The remaining Puma now is vulnerable. Sherman pursues, he pops smoke, he gets them through the fog of war, however he does not burn up. Sherman's backing away. We've got Rakettenwerfer operational. Elpern is in full pomp now as Sormaple reaches double-digit victory points. Rakettenwerfer gets some good shots in. And there you go, a nice damaged engine. Will he survive? He uses the smoke discharging rounds. Puma on slither of health, trying to finish the job. He goes in for another attack round and misses. This is beautiful action. Now the 50 cal can finish the job. Indeed it does, just as the Sherman dies. Oh, they die in unison. Forever intertwined in their mortality. Major pushes forward to get the cut off. Elpern has taken full advantage of this hellacious combat. He's about to get a triple cap up.
Our resource sector has been cut off from our supply chain.
People in chat see it correctly. It is indeed 2 Pumas for a Sherman. Major setting down the artillery on the base exit of Sormaple. North side, Volksgrenadiers versus Lieutenant, but they have a Luke's back. They have an entire army backing them up. Sormaple's funneling into the north. He wants to take 1 victory point, hold it, and then move for the centre. Elpern sees him coming. He's repositioning his forces. Or is he? He's retreating the Major. He's got the airborne repositioning right now with no Sherman. It's all, well, he's rebuilding the Sherman. He's got the Stuart, still veterancy 2. 6 kills. Grenade. Trying to hit the advance there as smokes comes down from the Luftwaffe of Sormaple. Rakettenwerfer parries the Stuart. Hits it again. Good shot there. Puma makes its presence felt. Can he finish the job? Yes, he can! What a killing blow there by Sormaple. He could be now rescuing this on 30 victory points only. Vet 5 Volksgrenadiers are suppressed, however, due to the nice flip by Elpern's MG. Luke's putting the pressure down now in return. Volksgrenadiers forced away. 25 points remain. Oh, and Stern Pioneers die. Luke's under pressure. Sorry, Lieutenant under pressure. I seem to have gotten those 2 words mixed up throughout the cast. Cat having to retreat as the rifles watch on, but look at the boys from above. We may have had squad wipes elsewhere, but the Fallschirmjägers are here possibly to save the day. They're up against stern resistance, however. Volksgrenadiers are going to help them out. Heavy combat casualties as riflemen are taken out, but here's the Sherman. to save the day for Elpern. Fallschirmjägers could not win this. And butterfly bombs to add insult to injury. It's now a lone Puma with its mobility damaged against the Sherman. 10 victory points are ticking down. Rear armor hit on the Sherman, on the Puma. It's destroyed.
Light vehicle destroyed.
Well played by Elpern. 6 victory points remain for Sormaple. GG, well played, says he. And our Swedish friend returns the favour. As that was a fantastic game. It literally could have gone either way. And there we go. 25 minutes of fantastic action from both players. GG, well played.
The hand of fate decides where the fight will be. Half the time we see twice intensity. It's chaos. Krieg. It's chaos. Krieg.
Fantastic.